Chapter 12. The Avadhoot Avatar Doctrine. In today's spiritual culture, the word avatar is being very loosely used without knowledge as to its true significance and what it really means. Anyone who can whip up a temporary hysteria is classified as an avatar. By the masses, who themselves haven't the slightest clue of what avatar means. In order to give people an understanding, it has become necessary to guide them and give a clear vision as to what an avatar actually is, the different types of avatars, and what their work is. The divine work and advent of the avatar. The word avatar is composed of two words, ava, meaning to descend, and tara, meaning to save by bridging the gulf between humanity and divinity. The divine consciousness descends to incarnate in the haunts of mortal beings to save their souls by ferrying them across the delusive ocean of samsara, the material world, into the haven of self-realization. This is the classic Indian thought, coupled with the idea that the avatar deals with the spiritual evolution of human consciousness. Like the biblical Noah, who in his ark played savior to all species of life at the physical level, saving them from the floods, the avatar is a savior to all life at the spiritual level. He saves them from the quagmire of materialism. The avatar is the descent of divinity into flesh. It is ajah, meaning unborn, so that it can never die. Normally in spiritual evolution, a Paramahansanath yogi evolves to a Siddhanath yogi, who then further progresses to the evolutionary stature of an Avadhoot yogi. He is then the beacon of spiritual light to the world, unfettered and free. He is the enlightened swan, flying high and soaring beyond the limited comprehension of mortal man. Being supremely free, he has no karma to fulfill and attains to the final Niranjan Nirvan, Kaivalya. Having merged into the supreme divinity, he returns to the world no more. But if he does return, under very rare circumstances, fully robed with the light and love of God, he comes for a world-liberating mission. Then, and only then, may he be said to be the Avatarnath Yogi. The classical and well-known avatars are Ram, Krishna, and Buddha. The work of the avatar is to protect the righteous, to destroy all negativity and darkness, and to establish the dharma of right living. They come from age to age. Jnanavatar Sri Yukteswar, in his book, The Holy Science, has clearly given the length and duration of the 4 human yugs, or ages, as being different from the 4 celestial ages. The first 2 ages are Satya Yuga, the golden age of 4,800 years, followed by the Treta Yuga, the silver age of 3,600 years. Then comes the Dwapar Yuga, copper age of 2,400 years. Finally comes the dark age of Kali Yuga, the iron age of 1,200 years. The coming of these lofty beings of truth and the periods in which they incarnate has also been mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. The avatar incarnates at the most needed hour of humanity. In the case of Shiv Goraksha Babaji, he is more than an avatar. He is a Swayambhu, meaning self-existent. He is also called a Mahavatar, means the great avatar. This shall be explained in detail later. The divine signs of a true avatar. A. The body of an avatar is composed by Kriya Shakti of pure spiritual light and is not subject to disease, decay, or death. This body of light is beyond the ravages of time. On occasion, the avatar casts no shadow. B. The footprints of an avatar are not impressed on the seashore or the sands of causation and time, because he has no karma, deeds, only akarma, divine work. C. The birth of an avatar is not bound by karma, but he chooses it by divine will. Whatever the manner of birth may be, whether it is through the womb of a mother, by immaculate conception, or birth in a lotus, it is the divine will of the avatar, free from karma. A divine avatar has the capacity to pull over himself the veil of cosmic illusion and incarnate into the world of mortal beings. It is a divine descent, being in the world of matter and maya, and yet not of it. D. Resurrection. The avatar's body is composed of divine undecayable light. It has the capacity to die and then transform the atomic cells into a transfigured body of light, resurrecting itself to show the glory of the Lord Most High on the earth of mortal man. Resurrection is the special feature of the avatar alone. People who claim to be avatars, but who are incapable of resurrecting their bodies after death, are spiritually evolved beings of a lesser stature. They cannot be classified or called avatars. They may be saints, yogis, hamsas, and paramhamsas. The different types of avatars. The Maha-avatar, called Swayambhu. This is specifically the great unborn self-manifestation of Shiva and has a much loftier work than the avatar. The cosmic being called Babaji Gorakshanath will not incarnate from age to age, but is perpetually present until the world cycle is over. He broods over humanity, his children, from eternity to eternity. His work is far beyond the comprehension of mortals. He stands at the 9th level of cosmic consciousness. Avatars of Shiva, also called the manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Shiv Kumars, standing at the 8th level of cosmic consciousness. They are usually invisible and unknown. However, they incarnate specifically for the yogic and spiritual evolution of human consciousness. They are not limited to the Yuga cycle, as are the avatars of Vishnu, but manifest when the need of spiritual evolution arises. They are also called the Agnishvat Rishis, the sages of the fire mist. Avatars of Vishnu. These are the classic avatars at or beyond the 7th level of cosmic consciousness, who come for the salvation of mankind from age to age according to the Yuga cycle. They are in order: Matsya, fish; Kacha, the tortoise avatar; Varaha, boar avatar; Narsingha, man-lion avatar; Vaman, the dwarf avatar; Parashuram, the ancient man avatar; Ram, the perfect man avatar; Krishna, the divine man avatar; Buddha, the enlightened man avatar; and Kalki, the divine savior avatar. These incarnations not only signify the physical evolution, but evolve the consciousness of all humanity as well. Purna avatars, complete descent of divinity in human body. The Purna avatars are the consciousness of divinity, which descends in the haunts of human beings to establish righteousness and spiritually evolve human consciousness. This God-made flesh comes to earth every yuga. Krishna, the Buddha, and the Kalki are ideal examples of the Purna avatars. The last is yet to incarnate in the world at the junction of the Leo-Aquarius age. These beings are at the 8th level of cosmic consciousness. Now we have a footnote here. Very interesting. In my observation, a similar evolutionary process of the 10 avatars happens at a lower human scale in the womb of a mother, where the embryo first appears as a fish, then the tortoise, then the boar-faced, then manimal, then the minuscule dwarf, the human archetype, and then the human form receiving sensations, then emotions, then the developed embryo receiving mentation from the mother's activities. Finally, the fetus is fully evolved, ready to be born into a whole new consciousness, which represents enlightenment. Now we come to the Ansh avatars. These are the partial avatars which manifest for the evolution of all human souls. The partial avatars, like the full avatar, have already attained to Nirvana Moksha, the 7th level of cosmic consciousness. The difference between the two is that the partial avatar, when descended on earth, manifests only a part of his divinity, commensurate with his work. The nature of his work on earth needs him to manifest only so much of his divine consciousness as can complete his mission. I am bringing to light that the avatars of Vishnu are considered to be his direct emanation of one of the 7 primeval flames, called the 7 rishis of the Ancient of Days, the archangels of the heavenly host, and the collective and sacred Elohim of eternal living fire. Lord Krishna, for example, was a direct emanation of Sanatan Rishi Narayan. He is, however, the descent of deity in form, that is the Mayavi Roop of individuality. His appearance to man on earth is objective, but in sober fact is not so. His elusive form has no past or future, nor does he have reincarnations due to karma, which has no hold on him. The consciousness of all avatars is fully enlightened, far beyond the comprehension of humans, totally and wholly merged into the Absolute. Pulling the veil of the cosmic illusion, the avatar creates for itself what is called a Mayavi Roop, meaning an illusionary idea body composed of the 3 gunas of Sattva, luminosity, Rajas, activity, and Tamas, inertia. Then the divine materializes the radiant astral body, which ultimately forms a physical body that can appear and disappear at will. The divine body of congealed light casts no shadow and no footprints. It is the divine light in a material world. The work and mission of the avatar has been explained above, and the details of the Kalki, our coming Messiah, will be given now. The Kalki avatar and his assistants. The coming of the Kalki avatar is also called the Second Advent, or by some, the Judgment Day. This is the time when all people shall be judged according to their karma and perfect justice meted out. Negativity itself shall be punished, and goodwill and peace shall rule the earth. Mighty shall be the descent of these beings in their chariots of spiritual fire. It is to be remembered that when so supernal and lofty a being as Kalki descends on earth, he is a Purna avatar, that is a full avatar. For details, please refer to the Bhavishya Puran and the Kalki Puran. The Kalki avatar will be accompanied by 2 mighty assistant avatars. The first will be the Manu Savarni, whom people know as the King Vikramaditya, victorious son. Some know him as El Maurya, and to some he is known as the divine Sisodia Gulab Lal Singh. But there is a mystery in this, the last name, which try as we may, we cannot resolve. hence we are not making the endeavor to do so. However, this is the ideal king who will be accompanying the lofty Kalki avatar. Also accompanying him will be the divine priest who was in his former lives the king Devapi, mentioned in the classic Indian epic Mahabharata. Devapi was also known as the Rishi Kutumi, who is destined to be the spiritual preceptor and world teacher. The Mahavatar Babaji and his assistants. The doctrine of the avatar unfolds as we study the ancient scriptures of India. The Kalki Puran, the Bhavishya Puran, and the Chandogya Upanishad give us fascinating insights into the nature of this divine Shiv Kumar. Loftier in spiritual stature than even the Purna avatar, there he stood, the youth of 16 summers, Sanat Kumar, the eternal virgin youth, the new ruler of the world, come to his kingdom, his pupils, the 3 Kumars with him, his helpers around him, 30 mighty beings, great beyond earth's reckoning, in graded order, clothed in their glorious bodies they had created by Kriya Shakti. This was the first spiritual hierarchy. Shiv Goraksha Babaji appeared on earth 18.5 million years ago in the middle of the Shvet Varaha Kalp. That is the world cycle of the white boar. He is now the silent watcher who directs all avatars and prophets in their evolutionary work and mission. The deeper nature of his own work is beyond our comprehension. The Linga Puran was taken from India by Buddhist monks and is worshipped in great secrecy in the chief monasteries in Tibet and Nepal. Shiv Goraksha Babaji, this deathless presence of eternity, keeps in his aura even the coming of the Kalki avatar and all of the manifestations divine. It is not given to us to know what arrangement for a spiritual impetus to humanity shall be given at the beginning of the new millennium. But it is said that a tremendous being, a manifestation of Shiv Babaji himself, shall incarnate at the end of the millennium in one or many souls and do as great a work on the spheres of the inner consciousness of humanity as the Kalki avatar will do on the outer consciousness of humanity. Divine workers and assistants the world over. In order to assist the massive surge of spiritual charge, we the Hamsa Yog Sangh must take our stand under the great Siddha Sangh, which is the guardian wall of humanity. We must serve humanity as our larger self and dedicate ourselves to the furthering of human awareness by teaching the Babaji Kriya Yoga. We must enable everyone to experience the unified field of consciousness, thus making all human beings realize that at the level of consciousness, humanity is one, so that we may all live on this planet in peaceful coexistence. This would enable people to take the quantum leap into the great reality when the ever-present Babaji Gorakshanath gives that truth, and to later flow into the evolutionary process of love and joy when the Kalki avatar comes at the beginning of the Lua Aquarius age. The Avadhoot avatar doctrine. The difference between an avatar and an Avadhoot is that the avatar is the involution of divine into the human, and the Avadhoot is the evolution of the human into the divine. The Avadhoot literally means cast off. He is shaken off all worldly ties and concerns, the highest renunciate, ever absorbed in supreme consciousness. He is a yogi who has crossed the 6th degree of initiation, meaning that even the last vestiges of his karma, of stored impressions, have been worked out. He is the conscious seer in Nirbij Samadhi, is totally free from the seed of the mind and matter of the universe. The cycle of birth and death ceases for him, and karmic desire cannot pull him down to reincarnate on earth unless he chooses to do so. However, when he does reincarnate, it is as the Savior, a partial avatar. One of the prevailing views about a soul who has evolved to the stature of an Avadhoot through a series of incarnations and accumulated merit is that his meditations and good karmas cannot make him a nirvani, but can lead him to a divine Sadguru. Then by the Guru's grace, he will be initiated into the mysteries of Niranjan Nirvan and attain to divine union. The other view is that from our works alone we obtain moksha, and if we take no pains, there will be no gains. Grace from the deity, the Mahaguru, does not come to the lazy. In order to procure the grace of the Guru, the disciple must make the initial effort. Therefore, it is maintained that the Buddha, though an avatar in one sense, is a true Param Mukta Avadhoot. Owing to his personal merit and endeavor, he attained Nirvana and is more cherished than an avatar. My personal view is that both individual effort in yoga and devotion bring about the grace of the Guru, which is necessary to achieve the blessed state of Nirvana Moksha. The grace of God and Guru, like the sun, shines equally on all beings, because in the eyes of the divine, all are equal, and the God essence is no respecter of personal egos. Grace is planted as conscience in the minds of each of us, and it is we who bring about the grace and disgrace of God in our lives, by either hiding in the dark room of karmic negativity or by exposing ourselves to the sunshine of divine grace through good deeds. We are responsible for the grace of God in our lives and the disgrace of ourselves by our own deeds. Only past life efforts of good works makes it appear as grace in this life, because we have no memory recall of the past. The truth is that a particular soul that appears to be graced by the divine has already made the effort in a past or present life. Incarnations and rebirths. There is a very subtle difference between a partial avatar and an Avadhoot. In fact, in terms of self-realization, they have both attained moksha. The difference is that the Avadhoot does not enter his entire causal and spiritual consciousness into Nirvana Moksha. He makes his spiritual self, Atma, experience the wisdom of Nirvana, while keeping his causal body intact to reincarnate as a savior of humanity with the same causal body. From this later evolved the Bodhisattva doctrine of Indian Buddhism. On the other hand, the partial avatar merges his all into Nirvana Moksha. His causal body and Atma are both transformed and resolved into Brahma Nirvana.
Goraksha Goraknathaya Shiva Shambho Namaya Shiva Shambho Namaya Shiva Goraksha Goraknathaya